Wow. So, welcome. And this is going to be the first video where I actually talk about something instead of playing video games because it just is that meaningful to me personally. You may have all seen the big news here. So we're going to just cover that. I want to talk about it really quickly. And that is the development of a live action film of The Legend of Zelda. Okay, so we had the Mario movie last year, which was absolutely phenomenal. Everybody loved it. Nobody didn't like it. Pretty much everything they did in it was perfect and exactly what the fans wanted. If you were a hardcore Mario fan, if you didn't know Mario very well, you probably still loved it because it was that great. And I imagine this is going to be much the same situation here. So we're looking at the official Nintendo website. I figure, they probably know what's going on in their own company, I hope. So that's probably the best place to get that news from. So let's take a look here and see. So, development of a live-action film of The Legend of Zelda. To start, here's our boy Shigeru Miyamoto and Avi Arad. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's produced a bunch of movies. I don't actually know any of them, but apparently he's made a bunch of movies, so that's great. That's fantastic. So really good to see these two individuals together working on this. But yeah, let's cut to the chase here. So co-financed by Nintendo and Sony Pictures. That's pretty interesting. I think Sony also did something to do with the Spider-Man movies or something like that. I have no idea exactly. I mean, what we do know, though, is that when video games and movies come together, only good things happen and nothing bad ever happens. So that's the good news. I mean, look at Last of Us. That was an amazing show. I've heard really good things about the Spider-Man movies, Enter the Spider-Verse, whatever. Supposedly really great movies. I wouldn't know. I'll probably never watch them. So that's what we're going to be looking at here, right? So by producing visual contents of the Nintendo IP by itself, Nintendo is creating new opportunities to have people from around the world to access the world of entertainment which Nintendo has built through different means apart from its dedicated game consoles. By getting deeply involved in the movie production with the aim to put smiles on everyone's faces through entertainment, Nintendo will continue its efforts to produce unique entertainment delivered to it to as many people as possible. So I thought, you know what, I want to talk about a little bit because I am very passionate about the Zelda movie. I'm very passionate about the Zelda franchise. I'm a lifelong Zelda gamer. Obviously, I've never, as a Zelda gamer, what more would I have wanted from the Zelda franchise other than a movie? I mean, maybe some other kind of products, like maybe a Zelda fast food restaurant would be pretty cool. Maybe a Zelda bank of some kind would be awesome, where I can go in and people are kind of dressed up as Link and Zelda, and I can put my money into the bank and that kind of thing. So I could think of other things that I'd like to see Zelda expand out into, but you got to start somewhere, and why not start with a Zelda movie, since we're building the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, which is awesome. So I wanted to kind of talk about what are some of the things that we can expect, some of the pros and cons of having a Zelda movie. Well, let's pull it up here. Let's go through it. And I want you to write in with your own ideas about pros and cons and what you think. So we'll go pros. Okay, pros of making Zelda movie. Okay. And we'll do cons of making Zelda movie. And we'll just come up with a few quick key points here. We're not going to spend too long. I just want to give some thoughts about where I sit with it. So number one, what are some of the pros? I mean, number one, I think probably the biggest pro, right, is more. Let's actually make that text a little bigger so you can see it. And we'll do this one in blue. Blue's a common color. More money for Nintendo, right? And large movie production companies. what do you call them? People who sell, knockoff products and stuff like that. Merchandisers, if you will. Okay. More money for Nintendo and large movie production companies, merchandisers, actors. Obviously, actors are very important here. Actors, actresses, executives, CEOs, investors, etc. Okay, so that's the really good news here, is that right after we got the Mario movie, obviously a lot of people made a lot of money off that, which is awesome because then they can keep producing more and more movies. I mean, if you look at the Sonic Cinematic Universe, right, we're getting a third movie at the end of next year that's been announced, which is it's my personal favorite video game movie that's ever been made. They did a fantastic job with those first two movies. So the more money for Nintendo means the better off all of us are, right? Because we're going to get more Nintendo movies, more Nintendo intellectual properties that will be able to be turned into movies. So that's, I think, that'll be our second pro here. More Nintendo IPs that can be turned into movies. Okay, such as what are some great ideas for Nintendo movies? Animal Crossing, right? Big game in early days of 2020 when that came out. That was great. What else would we want to see? Oh, Luigi's Mansion, right? We want to see, that's obvious, right? In fact, actually, I would love to see like a mashup with Luigi's Mansion and Ghostbusters. Would be perfect, right? Maybe you have Bill Murray make a cameo, like as an animated character, or maybe you just go full live action Luigi's Mansion. And then that way you can actually just have Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, all those guys come in and actually play characters in Luigi's Mansion because they are pretty familiar with how to catch ghosts, obviously. So they'd fit right in with Luigi, kind of be able to help him out, catch the ghosts, that kind of thing. Anyway, let's not go on a tangent there. It's just a really good idea. Metroid, right? I mean, that is so obvious. That is not even a question. Obviously, we're going to get a Metroid movie. Donkey Kong. What else do we have? I think those are the big ones, right? That's what we want to see. So Smash Bros, right? So this is the brilliance of it. Once they make all of these movies a reality, then what we'll be able to see and do, they can bring all those franchises together and they can have them all battle in a head-to-head climactic universal clash like we saw with whatever those Marvel movies are called that everybody likes. I never seen them myself. I've heard they're good. They're probably amazing. But that's what we're thinking here, right? Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of stuff. Have all the characters come together. And we're going to have a Smash Brothers movie, right? Oh, Mario Kart, right? I mean, we're getting that Gran Turismo movie right away here. That's a live action as well, of course, right? So I don't see why we can't have a live action Mario Kart movie, right? What are some other pros? Well, I think, right, Zelda as a game is boring, right? Movie makes more interesting. Right. So, I mean, one thing that you'll find with games nowadays, people don't actually have the motivation or even the energy really to play games anymore. Right. We're so tired nowadays. We have to go to work all day. Maybe you're in school, you're going to university, something like that. And just coming home and playing video games is it's exhausting. Right. Like completely draining. You're trying to keep up with your friends. You're trying to be competitive. You're trying to complete your battle passes. And I get it, I'm in that loop myself, just unbelievably exhausting. So it would be really great if we could just make that easier on everybody by taking the Zelda franchise and turning it into a movie, because I can't picture it working better in any other way, to be honest with you, right? Sorry, this song's pissing me off. We're going to change the song here. That's nice. That's good. The good little vibe there. Okay. So I think just the easier that you can make something for people, the better the product is going to be, right? So if instead of playing the game, now we can watch the game. That's just going to be a better product for everybody at the end of the day, I think. And so that's great that they're going to give it, just a more attention to a more widespread audience. Okay. Which would lead me to, I don't know, I mean, we've got one more point here to make. I don't want to make this video too long here. But well, let's change the color there. Watered down version of Zelda to make more, well, you know what, actually, let's just say more digestible and palatable version of Zelda, the video game, right? There's still some people in this world, believe it or not, who don't know what Zelda is. It's crazy to think about, right? But getting into the franchise, that might be a bit of a challenge for them. There's a lot to learn. If we can just put that into a bite-sized little pill that they can easily swallow with a glass of water, this is a metaphor I'm using, obviously, right? That's just going to be much better, just a much better experience. Oh, and I forgot, I had one other point here I wanted to make. Cool actors and actresses, right? So if we actually break this down here, let's just break this down here. Let's see here. How can we do this? Okay, like this. We'll go like this. Oh, it doesn't want to cooperate. This is Microsoft Word, right? Let's see here. All right. Some ideas, right, that we can talk about. Link. Who would play Link? Well, I've talked to friends about this already. I think we know who the perfect Link would be. Macaulay Culkin. Okay. No idea if that's how you spell his name, but it's close enough. Okay. Obviously, cute little guy. Great actor from the mid 90s, all that kind of stuff. And, obviously the perfect Link. There's no questions about that at all. Zelda would be, I think, the role casts itself, Margot Robbie, right? Obviously, she's the perfect Zelda. I couldn't picture anybody else in the role other than Margot Robbie. She's an amazing actress and would just do well in any role that she's cast in. I would assume she's a big Zelda fan. I mean, she was in the Barbie movie. She obviously likes Barbie, which, there's Barbie video games. So she probably loves Zelda. I would be surprised if she didn't. Ganon, now this one was tough. But you need somebody with a lot of range who can do a lot of different things. And we think that person is Nicolas Cage. Okay. Now I know what you're thinking. Can be a little silly, a little goofy kind of guy. But the reality is that he is such a talented actor and would be able to accomplish so much in his role as Ganon, and I think would really embody that here. I mean, look at Jim Carrey with playing Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic movies. Absolutely killed it, right? So that's who I see as some of our main characters here. I mean, if I'm just thinking loosely here, Skull Kid, right? I don't know. Who could play Skull Kid? Peter Dinklage, right? Peter Dinklage is quite a small little guy. Skull Kid's quite small and short, so I think he'd be perfect. And so I think, that makes perfect sense for casting. Who else would be Impa, right? Impa's the role. Who would be Impa? Well, we want to make sure that we have diversity in here for sure, which is very important. So let's see. I mean, maybe Oprah, right? You got to have someone who's a little bit older and knows what's going on. And we want to diversify the cast a bit for sure. So I think Oprah as kind of the overseer, the really intelligent kind of individual that she is. You would want her to be playing someone like Impa, who is the wise, sagely kind of individual. So I think that's really solid casting there. Oh, and then of course we can't forget Tinkle, right? Tinkle. Now who would be, of course, we need somebody with a robust character, funny, cute, somebody who can really bring a lot of charisma to the role as Tinkle. No, not sorry, not Tinkle. It's Tingle. Sorry. All right, getting confused. Right, Tinkle, whatever. Right, same thing. I think I know Paul Rudd. Right, Tinkle as Paul Rudd. Obvious choice. Okay. I'm realizing now the video's gone on a little bit long, so I think we'll do a second video. We'll call it the cons of making Zelda movie. Okay, I'll think about that a little bit more. Give me some extra time to think about this. But here we go. This is kind of the pros that we're looking at, right? I think it's going to be great. I'm super excited for it. I hope you are as well. And we will see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.